It's 3 a.m. The temperature is 19 degrees. Half the state is dark, and you're 40 feet up a pole with your hands inches from a wire carrying 7,200 volts, enough to stop your heart before your body hits the ground. You're 19. 20 years from now, you'll own the trucks that put the lights back on for a whole region. Between here and there is a six-figure trade a kid with no degree can climb into. A job where one wrong touch ends you instantly. And a family that learns to live with a chair that's always empty during storm season. This is every level of a lineman's life. You're 18 and you're a grunt, a groundman, the bottom of the crew and the whole reason the crew moves. You don't climb yet. You dig, you haul, you rig, you keep the lineman up top fed with tools and material, and you make around $18 to $24 an hour, roughly $37,000 to $50,000 a year to run yourself into the dirt. You throw the hand line, you sling the can, the transformer, onto the hook. You load and unload the bucket truck, keep the truck stocked, and learn the name of every tool by having somebody yell for it. You are the low man, and everybody makes sure you know it. And the danger sits right over your head. Electricity kills quietly and instantly. Contact with electricity took more than 2,000 American workers over the last decade plus, roughly 150 a year, and utility line work sits at the deadly edge of it. Serious injuries, electrical burns, broken bones from falls, hit line workers at a rate near 2,400 per 100,000 every year. You learn Rule 1 on day 1. Assume every wire is hot every time, because the one you assume is dead is the one that kills you. Then a storm hits, the crew works an 18-hour day in the freezing rain, and you don't quit, and you don't complain, and you have the right tool in the foreman's hand before he finishes asking. He keys the truck radio. Grunt's a keeper. 2 words. You dig holes all winter to hear them. You're 23. You made apprentice, and now you climb. You start around 60% of journeyman scale and step up every period. In a big utility program, you go from about $54,000 your first year to over $80,000 by your last, before you ever top out. You learn to gaff up a wood pole with hooks and a belt, 40, 50, 60 feet in the air, with nothing but a strap between you and the ground. You learn hot work, changing out gear on live lines using a hot stick, a shotgun, fiberglass tools that keep the current an arm's length from your heart. You learn the minimum approach distance, and you learn it cold because the margin for error up there is 0. You learn the language because the language keeps you alive. The can is the transformer. The bell is the insulator. The come-along pulls tension on the conductor. The sky wire on top catches the lightning. A shoe fly is the temporary line you build to bypass the work. A boomer is the lineman who never stops chasing the next job, and you're starting to understand why they do. The body opens its account fast. The knees and hips go from gaffing poles. The shoulders go from the work above your head all day. And you feel the wire respect settle into you. The awareness that the thing paying your mortgage can also turn you to carbon in a heartbeat. Then you make your first live changeout on an energized line. Clean, by the book, hands steady on the stick, and the journeyman watches every move and finally nods. Good hands. You'll ride that for a month. You're 28. You topped out. You're a journeyman lineman now, and the money finally matches the risk. The national median is around $92,560, about $44.50 an hour, and the top hands clear past $126,000 before you count the thing that makes this trade legendary: storm work. Because when the grid goes down, you go toward it. Hurricanes, ice storms, derechos, while everyone else evacuates, you drive in. On a storm, straight time turns into double bubble double time. 16-hour days for weeks, plus per diem, and a good storm season adds $30,000 to $80,000 on top of your base. The guys who chase them hard clear $200,000 a year, and the storm money has a price with your name on it. You're gone. You miss the birthdays, the games, the holidays, the anniversaries. You're in another state in the dark, restoring power for strangers while your own house runs on a phone call. The marriages in this trade take a beating, and every lineman knows exactly why. And the wire never stops hunting you. You work energized lines in the worst weather there is, exhausted on the 14th hour, and you know that fatigue is what kills linemen, the small mistake at hour 16. You start keeping the count every lineman keeps. The ones who got burned, the ones who fell, the one who touched the wrong wire and never came down the same. Then you black start a substation and watch a whole town's lights come back on at once. A grid of windows flickering to life in the dark, and you key the radio. That side's hot. Nothing in the world feels like putting the power back on. You're 40. You're the foreman now, and pushing toward general foreman, $100,000 to $160,000 a year. Because now every man's life on that crew runs through your calls. You don't climb the storm poles anymore. You run the crew that does. You read the switching, the tags, the weather, the tired 19-year-old grunt who reminds you exactly of yourself, and you ride him hard for the same reason they rode you. On energized lines, a sloppy crew is a dead crew. You make the call on whether a line is dead and grounded before a man puts hands on it, and that call is somebody's life. You fight everything now: the utility, the outage schedule, the storm callouts at 2 a.m., the pressure to restore fast when fast is exactly how people get killed. You wake up doing the next switching order in your head. The body's a 20-year ledger. Both knees are shot from the gaffs. The shoulders are done. There's a ringing in your ears and a back that seizes and hands scarred from decades on the steel. You've stood at the funerals. You carry every one of them into every "the line stays grounded till I say so" you ever call. Then it reaches for you anyway. A conductor everyone swore was de-energized reads hot on the meter a half second before a man grabs it. And it's your voice and 20 years of habit standing between your crew and a closed casket. Everybody clears. Nobody goes home in a bag. And you sit in the truck after, hands shaking, finally understanding the look every old foreman had. You're 47. You do what few linemen ever pull off. You climb down off the pole for good and put your own name on the trucks. You start a line construction company. Now you're the boss, and the iron will try to bury you. The trucks alone are a fortune. A bucket truck runs well into six figures, and a digger derrick, the drill and crane rig that sets the poles, can run $300,000 or more each. Getting a real overhead line outfit rolling runs anywhere from tens of thousands for a bare-bones crew to well over $1 million once you're bidding utility work. Then comes the insurance. Line work carries some of the ugliest workers' comp rates there are, because one arc flash, one fall, one contact can end a man and end you with him. Now every risk is yours. The fuel, the trucks, the bond, the crew that eats whether the storm comes or not, and a utility that pays you in 90 days. You're the estimator, the safety man, and the guy on the phone at midnight bidding a restoration contract 3 states away. But when the big storm hits, you don't chase the check anymore. You send the crews, and you own the ticket. You build it for years, good storm seasons, steady utility contracts, your trucks rolling into disaster zones lit up like a rescue. Then a bigger outfit offers to buy you out. The trucks, the crews, the contracts, the name, $2.5 million for all of it. You stand in the yard that night, a row of bucket trucks going dark, a region full of lights you helped keep on. Then you take the deal. Your name stays on the doors a while. Then one spring, they wrap the trucks in somebody else's logo. You're 58. The power flickers during a storm, and you catch yourself listening for the trucks, watching some young grunt on the news 40 feet up in the sleet, putting a town back together. You keep your hands in your pockets. The money came fast, and the storm money came in floods. The house is paid. Your kids grew up and never gaffed a pole in their lives, and that was the whole point. Both knees are gone. The shoulders are gone. There's a ringing that never stops, and a scar where the arc found you once, and a back that bends the way the pole bent it. But you kept the lights on. Every house, every hospital, every town that went dark in a storm and woke up warm, somebody climbed toward the danger everyone else ran from. And that somebody was you. The wire paid like almost nothing else a working man can climb into. The wire took the body, the birthdays, the years at home. But every time the lights went out, you drove straight into the dark. That's the trade. That's the bill. That's the lineman's life.